the end of the day.
Shannon, Gerard Pringle type backs are having a lot of success in the ACC this year. Is there anything behind that?
Talent. He just got some juice, right? And so, I mean, he's hitting it. I mean, he's just playing very well. You know, I don't know any other thing to say other than like he's, you know, performing well enough to get opportunities. And when he got his opportunity a week ago or whenever it was, he took advantage of it and he's been doing it at practice. And so the amount of trust he built with us was very high. And so, especially with the running back position, because it's not just about carrying the ball. You gotta have protections and all that stuff matter too. And so, but he's in a good place right now.
With Malachi Tony, I mean, how fun is it to get to design plays for a guy like that, where you can kind of put him wherever you want, put him in the slot, you can have him, you can kind of do whatever, and he can throw the ball and do anything. Basically, how fun is it to game plan for?
Yeah, he plays all over. I mean, he's good to game plan for because he's on the field all the time. You know, and I get this a good bit about like. You know, when you're a package guy, it's hard to design stuff for you because once you do it one time, it's over. Like they know when you bring that guy in, you're going to do this or you're going to do something like that. And so it's easier with Mally because he's in the game all the time. So they don't know when we're going to do whatever we're going to do. And so when we've lined him up at every spot, we've lined him up at running back, we've lined him up at quarterback, we've lined him up at tight end off alignment, we lined him up at slot receiver, we lined him up at single, we've lined him up to trips. So figuring out where he's at is part of the process, you know, because if people are going to put certain cover guys on him, then they don't know exactly where he's going to line up. We don't line him up in the same spot every time. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, he's a unique skill set for sure, and he's got a very, very, very positive attitude every day. Like he looks forward to doing all this stuff, and his capacity is very high, and so you know. There's a lot you can really dump on him, and it doesn't overload him, that's part of my job is to he's got to do the things he does most the best, and making sure that the stuff that we want to do with him that's a little bit obscure is not going to bog him down.
If that kind of leads into the second question I had about him and those kind of plays, was it just about a matter of nailing the basics first and then kind of moving to that stuff? Was it just making sure you nail the trick plays, the wildcat and all that stuff, nailing that in practice before breaking it on the field? I guess what went into deciding to start doing that?
I mean, some of the stuff we've repped for a little bit, and some we're just evolving to. You know, I mean, people. This is his first year to play too, and so getting to know him and his skill set, and tinkering with it and figuring out different things you can do with him is fun. And I mean, sometimes some plays get called, sometimes they don't. I think we ran 2 trick plays in the game and hit 1, so 50%. Yeah, whatever.
How have you seen his and Carson's relationship grow since they both got here, obviously?
Yeah.
Since you're senior guy who could still be in high school, and it seems like every time we talk with both of them, they're both in the same room, we see how giving they are about each other's success.
And I think Carson's relationship with people overall has been great, and it's gotten better through the course of the season. Now, there was multiple times in that game you look out there and it's Carson and our 5 linemen who've played a lot of football, and the other 5 guys are first-year starters. And there was a lot of times in that game where the freshman running back, and Lofton's a first-year starter, right? I mean, he played some last year, it was his first year to really have the bulk of it. And then all 3 receivers were first-year starters. And so ultimately, Carson's been playing a lot of football, like you kind of alluded to, is like he's much older than a lot of these guys, but his relationship with them is awesome. They have a lot of fun, and that was part of the last few weeks, and you alluded to it with the trick plays a little bit, is like getting people to relax and have fun. Like that's part of our growth as an offense, is not focusing on what we think the product should be, and focusing on like just this play and just have fun and play ball. Don't obsess about the end goal. The end goal is a product of putting routine plays back together. You focus on the big picture, and sometimes it gets diluted.
Jen, how thick is your binder? I mean, obviously, the last 6 quarters have been distinctly different than like the first 6-7 games this year, and
And which way do you say?
Well, just in the fun plays,
It's the same plays.
the variety. Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I
Same
mean,
exact plays.
are they the exact same plays?
Same plays.
So it's-
Other than the trick plays, which was 2 plays in the game. But the only 2 things that are different is we've ran a couple wildcat plays in the game, which was 2, and we ran 2 trick. Every other play other than that's plays we've ran since the first day of camp. We
So-
ran outside zone since game 1. Now it's hit outside a few times this last few games. It's the same play we've ran since week 1.
So it's not a situation where you're sitting in your office
Nope.
drawing on an easel or
Absolutely not.
reaching deep into a binder.
No,
or,
we come up with the biggest game planning deal that we do is finding different motions and shifts and adjustments to run our base plays. You know, that's the biggest thing. Now, do we have a few wrinkles every week of a trick play or 2? Yeah, I mean, if you run 70 plays in a game and 2 of them are those, then what's that percent? I don't know, you're good at math. You're a stats guy.
2 of no.
2 of 70?
2 of 70 would be what, 1
Yeah, 1% of what we do.
1.5% or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little less than 1.5%.
But that's what I think what people see is like, oh, well, I mean, 99% of what we're doing is stuff that we do every day. You know, now are we running a trick play every now and again? Yeah. I mean, ran 2 in the game. We hit 1. But, you know, but people think, oh, we're running trick play every other play. That's not necessarily true. We ran 2.
Keelan Marion's really emerged
That's the truth.
in the last 3 games. Has
Mhm.
there been any rhyme or reason to that? Is it
I think opportunities more than anything. I mean, CJ's been out. People have focused on Miley, and so he's just gotten those opportunities. I mean, he's played well all year, and he's done a lot of good things, and he can stretch the field well. And oddly, this week, which I don't know if it's happened for a long time in my coaching career, we had every 50-50 ball in that game. Like every vertical ball we threw that was a 50-50 ball we caught, which typically you're gonna have about a 40% success rate on that or less. And so those guys really did a good job on the outside of making contested catches, which is crucial. Because when you do that, when you can run the ball well and you can make contested catches, that's tough to defend.
You mentioned it with CJ out and Mark out, but is they just the way they're still trying to find ways to impact even when they're on the sideline.
Oh, it's been
Driscoll-
awesome.
Yeah, Coach Driscoll mentioned like CJ's back like an assistant coach. We saw Mark hyping up Gerard.
The-
Just the importance of that, especially for the younger guys to see how the veterans are acting when they aren't able to contribute on the field.
Their voice is extremely important, and they've done a great job leading up to the game in the hotel. Mark's great. He made some comments in a unit meeting that I thought was excellent on the sideline between every drive. I mean, those guys are elite teammates and elite leaders, and we miss them on the field for sure. But to their credit, I mean, they have stayed positive and they make an impact on the game with just their energy and attitude. It's been awesome to see.
Shannon Carson said after the game, basically, asked about how he's kind of turned things around last couple of weeks, no interceptions, playing clean and everything. He talked about kind of like building confidence back in his arm, and settled more and more into the offense after not being able to do much in the spring and into the summer. How have you seen him get more, I guess maybe more confident in himself and in the offense over the last maybe couple of weeks?
I think over the past month or so, I can see that his overall, grasp of what we're doing in the pass game has just been over the top. And, what people might not understand is like, that's probably the biggest difference here than where he played before is like, my pass game is progression oriented. I mean, so it's a straight progression. So I don't obsess about what the defense is doing. I don't care what coverage they're playing. It's really a progression offense, which is old school air raid. Got to get your eyes in the right place, trust your reads are sacred, and all the rest. Most people try to predetermine the ball based on coverage or based on whatever. And so, that's probably one of the bigger differences coming here is just don't assume. You know what I mean? Don't assume something's not open because supposedly this coverage takes it away. Well, hell, they might not cover it, And so that's why I don't really obsess about coverages a lot because people can mess up coverages. And so his embracing of the true just get my eyes in the right place reads and his comfort level with our offense, I feel over the past month and a half, I can honestly, I saw it in the SMU game. We didn't play well, we got beat, but I left that game and I'm like, he's about to start playing his ass off, because the balls were going to the right place in the right time, his comfort level in the pocket, the lay of the way everything was going. I was very pleased with the way that game unfolded with him, other than a few plays. I mean, obviously we lost the game, but I'm just talking about his progression in our offense. Like that game, I was like, all right, now he's about to start taking this and running with it.
Do you think it's tougher because in addition to learning the new offense, learning like that the reads are the most important part and everything, in addition to working with, rehabbing his elbow throughout the spring, do you think that kind of double edge or double thing may have slowed it down a little bit?
He didn't play bad at the beginning of the year. I don't think we've necessarily played too poor other than like the Louisville game was the one game that was like the outlier, But to answer your question, he did have a major surgery and he did miss a spring and he went 8 months without throwing a football, which is tough for a quarterback, and which I think is equally important is the fact that he had to learn a whole new communication system. Mm-hmm. And so the reason I say that is because I would, at the beginning of the year, even Notre Dame game, Florida game, and all those games, there was times when I would call a play or a formation and he would revert back to what they called it before, And so he was kind of trying to connect wires that were in his mind, that over time those wires get smoothed out and now just the communication is very clear. Now it's his, right? And so I don't think that was just perfectly smoothed out at the beginning, but he's a good enough player and he's a smart enough kid to where he could make it work, which I think that's a huge compliment to him, to be able to not take reps in the system for all year and to start taking reps in camp and have that stuff flow like it does, because communication is extremely important. And it's like learning a new language. If I was teaching you Spanish, it would take you a while before it became, okay, it's just natural, I get it, right?
See.
Yeah, see, right.
Did two more questions.
You might speak Spanish, I don't know.
The pass to Elijah, was that the third read on that play? The touchdown pass?
It was the second read. So it was the safety was in the middle of the field with single high, and so it is climb route to divide, but the safety was cheating this way, so he basically went to Pringle first and went back to the climb route.
What grade did you give Malachi on his deep shot?
On the one to JoJo, as elite, bro. The one thing about that is that wasn't the first read. The post was the first read. So a guy that isn't playing quarterback, a lot of times just give him a 1 and none. Like you throw it here or make it work. But with him, he's a little different. So I'll put progressions in his deal. And so the post, they must have anticipated something coming because they played coverage. And they covered the post. And then JoJo came open and he ripped it to him. And that's it was a seed. Everybody in the quarterback room will admit. The bigger thing with him though, it's he doesn't have to warm up. He just gets out there and grabs the ball and throws it. I can't quite explain it, but it is what it is.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it, guys.